Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk Chicago Bears. And it's a Victory Tuesday. What a game! I was so nervous all day yesterday. I was going through so many emotions during that game because I kept going, here we go again. Because the mistakes and the penalties and oh my God, it was driving me crazy. But they came down. It was almost deja vu, wasn't it? Because the Bears drive in the last couple minutes, score, get close, but this time it went the right way. Field goal! Victory 25-24. So you know what that means. It means it's time to sing the victory song. And I want you all it's the touchdown song. But, I don't like it. But I want you all to sing it out loud with me. Open your windows. Let everybody hear you. Are you ready? Set. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Make every play, clear the way to victory. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Put up a fight with might so fearlessly last night. We'll never forget the way you filled the nation with your T formation. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Let me know why you're wearing the crown. You're the pride and joy of Illinois. Chicago Bears, bear down. Yeah, baby. I know. Who sings it better than me? Hey, what a game, though, huh? The Bears are 3-2. It was an ugly win, but a win is a win, right? And you know what? They're 3-2, and they're right in the midst. In the middle of our division. Our division is all clumped together now, and that's a good thing. The Bears are 3-2. And you know what? Let's get into it. Let me do a few things. I did want to give a shout out to somebody first. I just wanted to say, hey, Robbie in Indiana, thank you for watching. Okay, so with 3 seconds left, the Bears, Mooney, who just came off the practice squad, in for Carlos Santos, kicked the winning field goal 25-24 with 3 seconds left. Yes. And just an FYI, although he is back in Chicago now, DJ Moore did not travel back with the team last night. They sent him to the hospital because he was pretty banged up and they wanted to make sure he was okay. But he is back in Illinois, back in Chicago, and all is good. So let's get to a few stats, and then we're going to talk more about the game. But, oh, my God, I got to tell you. Like I said, I was so nervous during that game, and it was just all day yesterday, I just kept saying to people, I don't know, I'm so nervous. I just want them to win so bad, to get that terrible taste out of my mouth from last year's bullshit game in Washington. And guess what? It's gone. See? So, yes. Can I say it was a great game? Great game is pushing it a little bit, Lynn, but a great outcome. And even with all their penalties, because you know how I feel about penalties and mistakes, they still hung in there and didn't give up. And I got to tell you, that impressed me the most. And what impressed me the most about last night was the defense. We were dead last in stopping the rush, and we were facing the team that was number 1 in rushing, and we handled them quite well, thank you. So very proud of the defense, and just the whole team. All 3 phases, rock on. So let's do a few stats, and then we'll get into more of the game. Williams, in my opinion, did not have his best game. He missed open receivers. He was overthrowing. He didn't seem comfortable to me, although the pass rush from Washington was relentless and never stopped the entire night. I got to give our offensive line a lot of credit. They did not give up, and they fought right back. He was sacked 3 times, but it could have been 10 easily. So I'll take that. And you know what? But he did have an off game. There's no doubt about it. But if this is what he looks like on an off game, we're okay, people. We're okay. So Williams was 17 of 29 attempts, 252 yards with one passing touchdown. He was sacked 3 times. He had a rushing touchdown. Yes, so he had a good night. I mean, yeah, he did miss some receivers and made some bad passes, but at the end, we won the game, and he did his job, and he did. He really, really did, because that defense was relentless. Daniels, their quarterback, was 19 of 26, 211 yards. He threw for 3 touchdowns, was sacked twice, and threw an interception to number 9, Brisker. I love him. And now, you know how much I have been on number 4, Swift, since the beginning of last year when the Bears signed him. I didn't like it. But I got to tell you what. I will give props where props are due when they're due, and Swift deserved that game ball he got last night. First we rushed. We had a team total of 145 yards rushing, which is the best we've done the entire season. And for the number 1 rush team, they had 124 yards, and that's a win. It doesn't sound like it because you really want to keep a team under 100 yards rushing, but 124 against the number 1 rush team is a win. And we'll get to that in a minute. But Swift, I got to give him credit, man. Credit due. You rushed for 108 yards, and you had 67 yards receiving with a receiving touchdown. What a damn good night. And where the hell has this Swift been for the last year and a half, right? Although there was some lanes open up big time that I could have ran through last night. So, maybe, I'm still, all right, great game. He deserved the game ball. I'm on him. If he can continue to do this, we have a chance this year to win more games, because you saw what it was. So let's just go over it real quick. It was quite a few people were in on that 145 yards. Swift had 108. Our rookie, number 25, Kyle, had 19. Number 2, Moore, had some yards. Number 23, Johnson, and 14, OZ, all ran the ball too. I didn't put their yards down because they didn't have a lot, but they ran it. And I was really happy to see number 23, Johnson, back in there. I kind of would have liked to see him rush for more, because him and Kyle, number 25, were plowing through where there weren't really holes, and they made them. They looked really good last night. And I'd like to see Johnson in there more and more. Let's get him in more. But again, shout out to Swift. Totally deserved it. And you know what? I don't know where you've been all for the last year and a half, but welcome to the Bears. Okay, as I said, the Washington was the number 1 rushing team, and Mannett, or whatever his name is. He had 3 names. The Washington leading receiver, rushing back, had 61 yards, and Daniels, their quarterback, had 52. So, and then there was a few other people in there, but those were really the 124 yards. It was mostly Daniels rushing for his life, because the defensive line was after him. And that's why I'm so proud of them. But let's talk about our passing. Again, I mentioned to you that Swift, he led the receivers, believe it or not, because he had that really long one. 67 yards receiving in the air, 1 touchdown. Our rookie, number 10, Barden, finally getting him involved a little bit more. He had 51 yards receiving. Moore had 42 yards receiving. Rome had 32 yards receiving. Our running back rookie, number 25, Kyle, had 25 yards receiving, and 14, OZ, had 24 yards. And I got to tell you, though, I like 14, OZ. I know he's been around for a while, but he dropped. Not only was it a first down, it was also pretty much a touchdown. If he didn't, because there was nobody behind him when he dropped that ball. Had he caught it, well, for sure we would have had a first down, and if not, a touchdown very close to it. So, but He's had a really good season, so okay, we'll give him one. But boy, that was a killer. I was like, oh my God, with a knife. Their leading receiver was Moore, not our Moore, but their Moore. He had 46 yards receiving. He had one touchdown. Ertz, their tight end, had 43 yards receiving and one touchdown. And then they spread it around. We don't care. So scoring, this is how scoring was for the 25 points. There was 4 field goals by Moody, who was signed in September to our practice squad after San Francisco let him go for being, because they drafted him, I don't remember how many years ago, 3 years ago, I think maybe, and they drafted him in the 3rd round, but he was very inconsistent, so they released him. We picked him up and put him on our practice squad. Carlos said he could not go. And so they put this guy in, and he was 4 for 5. I mean, right on. He got a game ball, and he certainly deserved it. There was 4 field goals, and there was 2 touchdowns. And the thing is, I got to say, though, I'm happy the Bears won, but there are a few negatives, and this is one of them. The Bears, they've got to start getting more touchdowns. They can't be settling for just field goals. Hey, man, I was happy. I said they got to move. They got to get points, and yes, we'll take points, and we'll take field goals and touchdowns, but you've got to complete it. And you've got to go down. To win big games against good teams, you need to score touchdowns, okay? It's a good, very, very, very good defense. I told you they were 10th in the league in allowing points defensively, and it showed. And they had 15 sacks going into that game, and they only got 3. So, again, grateful for the only 3. So yeah, that's some stats on the offense. Let's go and look at a few stats on the defense. The defense had 2 sacks. They had 1 interception and 2 forced fumbles and 2 fumble recoveries. Right fucking on. This is what I talk about, and it's my 3s, right? Turnovers. They had 2 in the first half and 1 in the 4th quarter when it was starting to rain, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But the defense just had a great game, and they only sacked them twice, but let me tell you, they were close many, many times. And I said on my Friday show, if you can't get the sacks, disrupt him, make him uncomfortable, which they did, which forced him to run those 52 yards. And throw an interception. The Bears did, in my opinion, the best they could. And they showed that defensive line had the best game they've had all season. Now, if we could just get Austin Booker back in there because he had such a great preseason, I think that will help Montez Sweat get some more maybe sacks or get up there. But when we get him in there healthy, oh boy, because they really starting to come together. The leaders I just put it down a couple guys. 49 again, Edmonds. He led the team with 13 tackles. And 53 Edwards. Welcome back. Edwards is from Lake Villa, Illinois. I'm from there. Well, I lived there 30 plus years. I was from Prospect Heights, Illinois. I grew up there, but my husband and my son and myself lived in Lake Villa for 30 years, something like that. So, but welcome back, Edwards. He had 9 tackles, and Brisker had the interception. All freaking awesome. And there was 2 fumble recoveries. 98 Sweat hit it. Knocked it out, and number 53, Edwards, our linebacker, who was back after not playing this year. Well, he played 1 game. He recovered the fumble, and the second fumble was in the second half, was on number 26, Wright. And that was with 3 minutes left in the game when he got that fumble, and that is what, had they not fumbled the ball, I'm not sure we would have won that game, because if they hung on to the ball and did any scoring, we would have been in trouble. But we won. But these turnovers were huge. And again, I mentioned Moody was 4 for 5. He scored 13 points. 1 was blocked, but it was a very low kick. So what? We won. It don't matter, right? And now we are 3-2, and we've won 3 in a row. 3er, right? And let's just keep on going. Okay, now I'm going to go back to some good, but we got to talk about some bad. So my threes, I say this at the end of every pre-show. Penalties, 5 or less. You can't have more than 5. It's just so productive, unproductive. It's destructive. It just screws everything up, and it showed last night. I marked all the bad point on my notes. And because we won, I'm not going to break them down. But I can tell you, mostly on offense, there was 2 costly penalties on defense that gave them first downs. But the rest were on the offense. One was not a penalty. I'm sorry. On that touchdown to 15 Rome, they said our rookie 79, he did not do what those refs said. And I've seen a lot today. Despite playing a really good team and the refs' bad calling, the Bears still won that game. And the refs were terrible. But anyways, the Bears had 9 penalties, 84 yards or something like that. I don't care. The 9 penalties is what pisses me off. It just was so destructive. And they are just very lucky their defense didn't, because they started looking like they were getting tired, and they're lucky they hung in there. So they so turnovers, turnovers. We had 3, and I've told you, turnovers are a team's best friend. And did it not show? I mean, this old lady knows what she's talking about. That's all I'm saying. And 3 and outs is from what I counted. Bears didn't have any. And look how it shows. They stayed on the field. They went up and down the field. Didn't always get points. They missed them on the 4. They are terrible. One thing the Bears are really bad at is 2-point conversions. They missed the 2-point conversion, and when they were down, they were close to scoring. They went for it on 4th and 1 and didn't get it. So, they need to get those. Those they need to work on, and they really got to work on these 2-point conversions. Why they can't get them, I don't know. But anyway, so if you win all 3 of my 3s, you're going to win the game. If you win 2 of the 3 of them, you're in the game and have a good chance of winning. And see, they won 2 out of 3 of them, and they won that game in the last 3 seconds of the game. So the penalties, yes, so bad. They hurt themselves several times. There were, off of just the top of my head, 3 drives that were stopped by bad penalties. And we had to settle for field goals several times because of penalties. We didn't get the touchdowns because they drew that damn penalty. And as I told you, the defense one time had Washington at 4th down. They were going off the field. Out comes the flag, first down. Gave them a first down. And then there was another time that the defense, they had stopped them on 3rd down. Penalty, first down. And then, they went down and scored. So it's just these penalties have got to stop, and they're not. This is a problem now. You're playing, and we got lucky because our team, well, we didn't get lucky. The team, we did, but the team held it together. But much longer, I don't think they could have. But you can't, at the end of the year, we're playing our division again, and some good teams, you can't win with 9 penalties. I'm sorry. They will catch up to you every single time. And I'm actually shocked that Ben Johnson does not have these guys more disciplined, especially on offense. I don't understand it. This one shocks me. I thought moving into the season that, he's a hard ass. He's hard on these guys. I thought cleaning up the penalties was going to be a thing, and it really hasn't. So not happy at all there, at all. I'm telling you, people, they have got to stop them. The mistakes, the penalties, they were very, very obvious last night. But again, the team hung in there. And that just shows you when all 3 facets of the team are working. Field goals. We had a great punt. There was that real nice punt, which we needed. And then you got defense that actually stepped up and played really damn good, in my opinion. And offense, of course, did what they needed to do to put points on the boards. The defense, I mean, again, I've called out Swift. I want to say that you got to call him out. 108 yards rushing, 67 yards pass receiving, 1 touchdown, and he had 2 long pass receptions. I'm telling you, he played one hell of a game. I kind of just wish that this person would be there every week in and week out the rest of the year, because I preach what a running game could do for a young quarterback and for a offense, and you saw what it did last night. 108 yards. We don't have that. We don't have those big bursts we were getting. We don't win that game. And the other standout is you got to give the defense props. They had 2 sacks, 3 turnovers. They were in his I mean it. They were in his face a lot, which caused him to leave the pocket, had to run 52 yards. He threw an interception, so they did exactly what I asked them to do. If you can't get the sack, get close, disrupt them, make them uncomfortable. The linebackers had a great game. Edmonds, both wonderful games. And the backfield, well, what can you say? They were just shining again. And having Edwards as a linebacker and Gordon in the backfield helped coming back from injury. Oh, my God, so much better out there. And again, when we get Booker back on that D-line, things are going to get better and better and better. So congratulations to that defense. I got to tell you what, they tested you, and you stood up for the test, and you played your hearts out. There's just no doubt about it, and you stayed to the end, because towards the end, when Washington was driving before they fumbled that ball, I was starting to think they look like they're getting tired. Fortunately, it was a little cooler, and it had been raining, so no heat to really wear them out. But I was getting really worried, like, oh my God, here we go again. So basically, I told you. And then there was some dropped balls on our wide receivers. Really, the one that surprised me the most was 14, OZ. I told you about that one. It could have been a touchdown. It was a first down for sure. And Gabe, again, was off, but it doesn't matter. If he can play that well and be off, I'll take it. And you know what? I think he's nervous both last year and this year, because he's from there and he had a lot of family there, and I really believe it, that he was uncomfortable because he was nervous. I really, really do. And another reason why the Bears offense was struggling to score points, and this has not been a problem for them this year. This is the first game that we really had a problem on third down. They were only 3 of 10 on third down. Previous games, like that Raiders game, they hardly had any third downs in that game, and they were real good at it. So this is a thing they gotta go back. They gotta work on the penalties. They gotta work on third downs, getting those, and we gotta get Cabe and our wide receivers on the same track, because it's so important. One thing I didn't like was in the second quarter when the Bears were on their 35-yard line and it was 4th and 1. I understand why they went for it instead of a field goal. I get it. There's going to be a lot of points in that game, which there was. But I didn't like the pass option. They were getting chunks on the ground. I would have run for it, and I think you could have had it. I think they would have gotten it. I didn't like the pass at all. I thought that was one of the few times I will say Ben didn't like your play choices. So, because he missed the wide receiver, should have run it. But anyways, and it just was awesome. Just an awesome game. Was it? I mean, I know a lot of us were thinking at the last few minutes, like, here we go again, which of course I was. I was just like, man, this game is freaking over. And when that fumble happened, you should have seen me. I was running around my house screaming and yelling. I'm sure my neighbors could hear me. But yes! Anyways, but I do want to point something out, and apparently I'm not the only one who noticed this and heard it, because I saw a lot of chatter online, and I'm sure there's still a lot. Those announcers, and I gotta say, it wasn't really Joe Buck, who I've grown to like. Never been a fan, but I'm starting to like him. It was Troy Aikman who was a fucking asshole last night. I mean, he put the Bears down the entire night. He just basically said they're bad. And he was gushing over Love. I mean, does he want to date him or what? I mean, it was ridiculous. And then when they had that fumble in the fourth quarter and we got it with 3 minutes left, did you hear what he said? He said, oh, I'm sure the rain caused that. Oh, but when the Bears did something stupid, the Bears sucked. He was ripping on Caleb Williams all night. I found that to be very kind of unusual for Troy Aikman. He must have a stick up his butt about the Bears. I don't know what it is, but he was hating on them big time last night. And you know what? That's bullshit, my friend. Bullshit. And you know what? You are supposed to be neutral. When you're doing those games, you're supposed to be neutral. Mike, what's his last name? The guy who does Trico. He does the games on Sunday. He used to do college, and he does the Sunday night game. He's not from Detroit, but he's lived in Detroit for 20, 25 years now, and he's a huge Lions fan. When he does Lions games, you never hear. He just stays neutral and calls the game as he sees it. So Troy Aikman, F you, you're very unprofessional, and you know what? At the end of the night, guess what? Bears won the game, asshole. God, asshole is right, jerk. So screw him. We won. It don't matter, right? And it was just such a pleasure seeing the Bears celebrating in the locker room. The coach was just like, yes. I mean, we did it, and we did it even with the mistakes. So if they can clean up those mistakes, I'm going to keep saying that, penalties, clean up those mistakes on offense, and keep that run game going, we could win some more games because we've got New Orleans in Chicago this Sunday. Then we've got Baltimore, who is not playing well, but that game scares me because you never know if Lamar Jackson's playing. They could beat you. And we play them in Baltimore. And then the next game after that is Cincinnati, I believe, in Cincinnati. But those 3 games are very, very winnable. Very winnable. So, I'll talk about this on Friday for the next game, of course, for the New Orleans game. But you know what? That's just what we need to do more for. We've got to start building, stacking up wins. And I did not realize like this, but my son told me the Bears won the game in Vegas 25-24. And this game was 25-24. I did not realize that. My son told me that, and that's never happened. Teams winning 2 games with the same score 2 weeks in a row. So I don't know. Could that be a sign? I don't know. It might. Let's see. I don't know why I did that. But so you know what? I am proud of them. You know what? I'm going to forget about the mistakes. So I am very proud because they stuck in there and they believed in themselves. And they're really starting to believe. And Ben's getting in it. So you know what? Again, this is only the 5th game the Bears have played with these new players, with a new coaching staff. So I've been saying they will get better when they fix everything. And if they keep going like this, we're going to have a fun season. And I believe they're going to be over 500 for sure. But at the end of the day, you got to clean up the penalties, the drops. You got to clean that stuff up. And because at the end of November and the month of December, hard games because it's our division and then there's some hard teams thrown in there. So they got some tough games coming up. So win the ones that you should win now. This is the thing about teams like the Bears where they're starting to get better and people are starting to notice them. You got to go out and win the ones you should win. When you have a team that only has 1 or 2 wins and you feel and you know on paper you're better than them, you got to start winning those games. And that's been a problem for the Bears. So if they can start winning, picking up at least the next 3 weeks, if they can win 2 out of 3, we'll be doing good. If they can win 3 out of 3, even better. But I want at least 2 out of 3 in the next 3 games. So, anyways, so proud of them. We're 3-2, and the future is looking bright. Isn't that a song? The future, whatever. Anyways, I'm just, I could not go to sleep last night, even though the game was over here at 8:15. But I was so jacked, I hardly got any sleep last night. My son said the same thing. Well, because he had to work, so he only watched the first quarter and he taped the rest of the game. And he came home after 9 and watched it. And he said, I couldn't sleep either. And I'm sure that happened to a lot of people around the country who are Bears fans. So, isn't it wonderful to be smiling today and happy and have a team that is 3-2 and looking up? We're getting players back that were hurt. It's looking good. It's looking good, people. So I don't want to, we're going to win. I don't want to go over. But again, as I've said, if they can win the next 2 out of 3 games, we're going to be okay. But it would be nice to win 3 out of 3 because you got to win again the ones you should win. Okay? So awesome game, awesome comeback, staying in there. So proud of you, Bears. And, yeah, right? So it is nice to be having shows where they win. Because last season, I must have said the F word 1,000 times in that season. And people were telling me, man, you swore a lot. Well, look at what they were. They were terrible last year. They were atrocious. They were embarrassing. So it's so much easier doing a game after they win. Yeah. All right. As always, be kind to one another. Love one another. Just help each other out. We're in a tough time in this world. And we just need each other. Putting people down and just saying stupid shit, it's just not necessary. Be kind. Love one another. You know what? It's a tough world, and if we can't get through this together, how are we ever going to get through it, right? So, for me, be kind. And Bears fans, let's just stick together, and let's just bring home a victory next Sunday at Soldier Field, right? Right! So, again, always thank you all for watching me. Keep turning me on. Boom, boom. Definitely turn on today. Yeah, can you tell this 60-year-old lady? Yeah, baby. At one point, I said to my son one more thing. I was so nervous yesterday, and when the game was started, and I was like, oh my God, I said, I might have to crack open a beer today. And I said to him, and I don't drink on Mondays. I've always had a rule. I know people think it's weird. Probably in my lifetime, I've drank 5 times on a Monday, and I never liked it. It always, I don't know, something about it. So I don't drink on Mondays. Weird. I drink, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but not Monday. But I did not open that beer, and I'm glad I didn't. So anyways, love you guys. Keep on, watching me. Tell everybody, or don't. I don't care. I'm just so happy right now. Really don't matter. So, rock on, Bears. 3-2 Bears. I love ya. Get you some rest and come back Sunday and get us another victory. But I will see you this Friday, and we will be talking about the New Orleans Saints at Soldier Field on Sunday. So, thank you for watching, and as always, go Bears, and keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby!